When my mother passed away, our world flipped upside down. I was 23, fresh out of college, and still trying to figure out my place in life. My dad, Walter Simmons, had been married to my mom, Elaine, for almost 30 years. They were the definition of loyalty and quiet love, the kind that didn't need grand gestures or public displays. Her passing hit him harder than I could have imagined. The first few weeks after the funeral were a blur. Our house in Oregon, once warm and filled with my mom's laughter and soft humming, became a hollow shell. My dad would sit at the kitchen table every morning, staring at his coffee, as if expecting Mom to come in with her usual smile and morning chatter. I tried everything to lift his spirits, cooking meals, keeping the house clean, playing old music she loved. But nothing worked. He was present, but emotionally absent. Then one evening, about a month after her death, something shifted. I came home from work a little earlier than usual and found my dad in the living room, looking through an old photo album. He didn't even hear me come in. I sat beside him, placing a gentle hand on his arm. "Going through the memories?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "She was so beautiful," he whispered, "and I never realized how much I depended on her." His voice cracked, and it broke my heart. I leaned against him, just trying to be there. We sat like that in silence for what felt like an eternity. Then, out of nowhere, he said something that made me freeze. "I don't want to be alone anymore, Emily." I looked up. "I understand." "I don't either." His eyes met mine. There was something different in them, a depth of sadness mixed with something else. Do you think you could stay here for a while? I know you plan to move out soon, but maybe just for a few more months." I nodded without hesitation. "Of course, Dad. I'm not going anywhere." And I meant it. I didn't want him slipping into deeper loneliness. So I moved my things back into my old room and settled into our new rhythm. At first, it was fine, just the two of us eating together, watching shows at night, working during the day. But then, little by little, things began to feel odd. He started complimenting me more often, not in a creepy way, but enough that I noticed. "You remind me so much of your mother," he would say. "The way you talk, the way you laugh. Sometimes I close my eyes and I swear it's her." I smiled politely the first few times, trying not to overthink it. One evening, I was watching TV on the couch in my pajamas, a simple tank top and shorts, and Dad sat down beside me with 2 mugs of tea. "You always loved chamomile," he said, handing me a cup. I thanked him and took a sip. As we watched the movie, he gradually leaned in closer. I could feel the warmth of his body next to mine, and I was suddenly hyper-aware of everything. The silence, the flickering screen, the strange energy in the room. "Your mom used to love cuddling during movies," he murmured. I laughed nervously. "Yeah, I remember. You guys were always close." He turned to look at me, and the seriousness in his eyes made my skin prickle. "It's hard waking up alone. The house feels colder now." "I know," I said softly. "I miss her too." Then, without warning, he reached out and touched my cheek. "Sometimes, I wish things were different, that maybe life could give second chances." I blinked, unsure of what he meant. "Dad, what are you saying?" He looked away quickly, shaking his head. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make things weird." But things were weird. That night, I locked my bedroom door for the first time since moving back. The next few days, he acted normal again, or at least he tried. But the air between us was charged. I could tell he wanted to say more, but didn't know how. I started spending more time at work or out with friends, just to avoid the house. Then one Saturday morning, I found a note on the kitchen table. It was written in his handwriting. "Emily, I need to talk. Please don't shut me out. I love you." I stared at the note, stunned. The words were innocent on the surface, but the undertone made my stomach twist. That night, I confronted him. "What is going on, Dad? Why did you write that?" He looked tired. "Because I've been alone in this house with memories for too long. You remind me of her in every way, and I think I've blurred the lines in my head. I'm sorry." His honesty floored me. For a long time, I couldn't say anything. Then I said quietly, "You're grieving. This isn't love, Dad. This is loss speaking." He nodded slowly.
I know, but I needed to say it out loud.
I needed to be honest, or I was going to lose my mind. After that night, I knew I had to make a decision. I couldn't stay in the house anymore. I loved my father, but I couldn't be his emotional replacement for Mom. So, I packed my things and moved in with my cousin Rebecca a few towns over. It was hard. He called me every day for a while, apologizing again and again. I forgave him, but I kept my distance. I needed space, and so did he. Over time, things started to normalize. He started therapy, something I'd begged him to consider. He even joined a local community group for widowers. Slowly, the weight of grief began to lift from him. A year later, he met a woman named Linda. She was kind and calm and reminded me of Mom in the best ways. They took things slowly, and this time, his affection was healthy and appropriate. As for me, I never forgot that strange, painful chapter. It taught me how deep grief can twist someone's reality. It taught me compassion, boundaries, and the importance of facing uncomfortable truths. Sometimes people break in unexpected ways when they lose the ones they love. And sometimes the best thing you can do is step back, not out of anger, but out of love. Because that's what I did next. I walked away so we could both heal. And we did.